Brooklyn Ty, and you're tuned in to my very first episode 1, Goodfly NYC is what I'm going to title this, because she will be my special guest on this episode. But sorry that this podcast is late, but I'm trying to get into the swing of things, and y'all really do not know my life unless you know me in real life. Trust me. I have a lot going on, trying to work, trying to travel. I'm all over the place. So, but keep listening. You'll get to see how I'm very transparent, and y'all will understand over time that I have a very busy schedule. On purpose, because some of the things I do, I really don't have to, but I need to stay busy to keep my sanity. So I'll give myself to y'all in pieces. So, but thank you for everyone who has tuned in or who had tuned into my introduction episode. If you haven't had a chance to listen into it, check it out. That was episode introduction. And again, this is my first official episode of What's the Word? So I'm very excited. Today I'll be bringing you, like I mentioned a little while ago, Goodfly NYC, who is someone who makes all of my handcraft jewelry. She's a Black-owned business. She's rather dope to me. Shout out to everyone who listened to my other previous podcasts, like I just mentioned, because I actually just seen that there were some people who actually downloaded. So that kind of helps me out. I would love if y'all would subscribe to wherever it is that you're listening to this on: Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, whatever. I'm on all platforms where you can listen to a podcast. So that's what's up. And as my godmother would say, I'm going to learn y'all some things. So continue to listen, spread love. It's the Brooklyn Ty way. I'll show how easy it is for you to do that. So share this. It don't cost you anything to share this podcast. Also, check out my website, because I am a blogger, www.brooklyntynyc.com. I have merch, under my shop website, so you can click and, you'll see it says shop. I have hoodies, tote bags, double-sided tote bags, by the way, for the females who are into tote bags, who usually buy a tote bag and it's not on the logo or the design is not on both sides. Mine are on both sides. So you should appreciate that a little bit. I need y'all to also follow me on at Brooklyn Ty. Again, it's BKLYNTYENYC on IG and Twitter. Subscribe to my website, because I will send out newsletters every time I drop a podcast, every time I drop a blog. So if you have any suggestions on, ideas, if you would like me to interview you to get your business or brand out, email me at thepodcastwhatstheword@gmail.com. And, let's make things happen. So let's see what we're going to get into today. I have an exciting show. We're going to talk about a few things that I've been seeing and reading and watching. And then we'll get also into the interview with Goodfly NYC. So let's go. So let's get into What's the Word on the streets. Have y'all had a chance to see Respect, which is a new Areatha Franklin film that's starring Jennifer Hudson? Me, unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to see it yet, but I do plan on seeing it while it's in theaters, so I can at least spend my dollars in support of this film. But if not, I'll just have to wait till it comes on HBO or Netflix or Hulu or whatever else the hell I subscribe to every freaking month. But Areatha Franklin had actually handpicked Jennifer Hudson ways back in 2007 to portray her. So I think that's kind of dope for someone you've looked up to and admired to actually come to you and be like, hey, when they do a film about me, I want you to play me. So, it came out in theaters August 13th, and Aretha Franklin had actually passed away August 16th of 2018. So I guess this would be in honor of her life or a celebration of her life. Jennifer Hudson is actually also on in InStyle, or on the cover of InStyle magazine for the month of August. So, pick that up if you get a chance. She has a lot of great things that she's talking about, and just giving you a chance to get a little bit more into her life and, everything she's been through and overcome. Because, me personally, I follow her entire career from like American Idol. So like from every week, me, my mother, my sisters, my kids, us watching her and voting for her on each of our phones, seeing how far she's come is, like just seeing her growth. She's been through the ups and downs. She's taken us in and out of her ups and downs somewhat. I just remember like when her mother and her brother had been murdered by her sister's husband or boyfriend. That was like a sad time for the world. Like everyone who loved her at that point, because she was already famous, it was a sad time. So to see how far she's come, how much she's overcome, that's something that has to have been hard. And, now with her being a mother as well. So, pick that up. Aretha Franklin actually has a commemorative edition of People magazine where they've done an entire edition. It's called Aretha, the Queen of Soul. So, it just has like pictures of her, stories, articles of her, people that she's sang with, movies she's been in, like just taking you through her life in print, basically, which is something like, I'm a page turner. I like reading and being able to turn pages. So pick that up if you get a chance. I got my copy at, I think it was Whole Foods is where I went, because they have like a huge selection of magazines. So I don't necessarily have to go to Barnes and Noble. But pick that up because, it was just a reminder of how dope she was. She had, made history being able to sing My Country 'Tis of Thee at the first Obama's inauguration back in 2009. So I think that's dope. That's always been like something that's been like dope to me to see. Like that was a whole black moment, whole black situation. That's something like that she was a part of. I've always loved Aretha Franklin as well, because growing up, seeing her, she always looked like my grandmother. And like they have like features and similarities, like looks. So I just kind of always had like an extra soft spot just for that reason alone. So, pick up these magazines, check the movie out, email me at thepod, what's the word, and let me know, at gmail.com. Let me know what you thought about the movie. I'm just trying to see how fast or how eager I should be to go see this film, because people who have told me about it, I respect their recommendations at times, but they don't always get it right. So before I go and spend $20 to go see a film where I can just wait for it to come on something I subscribe to almost close to $20 each month, just let me know. So I've been watching the new Netflix series called Jailbirds. It's 6 episodes. I'm about 3 episodes in. It's, to me, similar to like the real life version of Orange is the New Black. It's about these females who are in a Sacramento jail or prison or whatever. And it just takes you through like, living through their life as they live in jail. It's also males on the premises in a different part, but I don't understand how it works, because to me it looks like it's one floor, but they have this way that they communicate through like a kite, and they like drop a line, they fish the line through the toilet bowl on a spoon. The line is like the string, the kite is like the letter, and they did like this flushy thing where they had to flush the toilet, they stuffed the letter down, and it actually got to the other side on a second attempt. They go through like the different jail terms. They break down like how like the lingo is. So you got like GP, general population, ADSAC, which is administrative segregation, which is basically like being monitored, lockdown, of course. And for some who have been locked up before, y'all know these terms, but it's crazy because they got these people like A1, which is in the male facility. He actually has 2 females that are in jail together that fought. He was dealing with Monster, who is also in there, who he stabbed. He has a girlfriend on the outside who comes to see him. They've been together like 6 months. Like, it's crazy. But I like this kind of shit. They also go into like the different jail foods, like how the commissary, like the jail food is horrible, so they have people send them commissary. Or like, they find their family might send them some money, put money on their books or whatever, so they could buy like noodles and chips and all of those kind of things, Oreos. And they was making like this oodles and noodles chili tortilla kind of thing, disgusting. But also it was a female, one of the females pissed off one of the guys by not coming to talk, how they communicate through the toilet bowl with like a cup, and like it's crazy. But for whatever reason, she pissed him off, and he was able, from his side, on the male's side of the jail, flood the female side where like their whole sewage backed up. They had to take like their blankets to kind of stop the water. It was feces flowing, like it was disgusting. But again, this is the type of shit I like. So. Again, check it out. It's on Netflix. Six series. I'm the third episode in. So, yeah. Email me. Let me know if you fucking with it.
Wow, wow. Come let me say no more. Come let me say Ashe. Come let me say yeah, bro. Come let me say Ashe. Come let me say Yebo. Come let me say Amen. Come let me say Ago. Come let me say Wawa. Come let me say Namo. Come let me say Ashe. Come let me say Yebo. What's up, New York?
Thank you so much for joining us as we usher back in the return of live theater to New York City.
It's been a long year and a half, y'all, but it's so amazing to be here with you all under the stars tonight. Let's do
So that's literally a sneak peek of Merry Wives, which is a Shakespeare in the Park edition play that I got to see with a good friend of mine, Sharon, who is a published author, who hopefully I'll get to have her on one of my future episodes coming up. But y'all need to check that out. And all of the Shakespeare in the Park things that are coming up, you don't have to be vaxxed. They do have a section for the vaxxed, but we sat in the non-vax section. It's an outdoor play, so look into that. It's at the Delacorte Theater in Central Park, and that's like on Central Park West and 81st Street. So check that out. Let's see what else is going on. I actually got a chance to watch Untold, Malice at the Palace. If y'all haven't caught that on Netflix, y'all need to watch that. You don't even have to be a NBA or basketball fan, because I am not a sports head. But I do remember back in 2004 when the situation went down, or it had like heavy coverage in the news. It was the situation with the Pacers versus the Pistons game when Ron Artest, before he became Meta Peace, like it was a crazy situation. Like nothing had ever occurred like that before. But what's stupid to me is how like the media got all riled up and was like blaming the players, and that's, from my point of view, that's all I seen was that, it was the players' fault. Why they reacted, why were they jumping in the stands, beating up the players, when in fact there was nothing like that at all. So because they were under some sort of gag order, they weren't able to speak upon it up until now. So now it's a whole Netflix series. So check that out. I don't know enough about basketball or about these players. I just know that it was Ron Artest, Steven Jackson, who was actually like best friends with George Floyd, R.I.P., Jermaine O'Neal, and Reggie Miller basically tells or speaks mostly on the document. So, check that out. Again, it's on Netflix, and it's called Untold, Malice in the Palace. All right, so Now let's finally get into this interview I did with Goodfly. Here we go. Check it out. All right, so I'm here with my very first official episode with one of my favorite people, someone who I wanted to interview as my very first guest on What's the Word podcast. We met at a Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival, maybe 2015, maybe or so.
Sounds about right.
Something like that. I just know we met and I got a product. It was like an Ankh and it broke. And I was just like, I gotta find her card. I gotta get a replacement. And then I ended up contacting you. I got another one done.
Yes.
Still have it. That one did not break.
Yes. We've gotten better over the years.
Yes. So I've been like a fan ever since. Been like purchasing heavy.
We appreciate you. We appreciate
It's
you.
like, just from day one, her energy, spirit shines through. You know, this is like one of the very few times I've gotten to physically be in her presence. So that says a lot, just from like back and forth on social media or texting, whatever. But I want to introduce you guys to Miss Goodfly NYC.
Hello.
Hey, yay. So I don't know what you want to go by. I don't know if you go by like your first name but tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and who you are.
So my name is Sophia Rogers, better known to everybody as Goodfly NYC. I love what I do. I do it often, and I'm just happy to be able to pass it on to the world. I do wire wrap jewelry primarily. We also have a sister company, Torian Elton, where we handle skin and hair care needs, natural skin and hair care needs. I'm just all about the crystals, and the crystals are all about me.
Definitely. I'm rocking one of my favorite rings right now.
Yes.
Actually, both made by you. Oh, bracelet made by you. I think chain I didn't put back on.
You have a ton of so
I mean, even from like what I read, I have a whole bookmark. Like it's amazing. But what got you into doing the wiring? What started you into that?
So initially, I wanted to start Goodfly NYC as a t-shirt company, and that's a little something that people don't know because I did not go that way. I ended up walking into a bead store in Chelsea and just fell in love. So I started the company doing beaded pieces, beaded necklaces, beaded bracelets. And then my first event was Afropunk. And after doing Afropunk, I just saw like the natural gravitation to crystal jewelry and everything like that, and saw some pretty dope pieces and fell in love with the whole wire wrap look. And that's kind of how I started. I'm definitely a naive artisan. Everything I do is self-taught. I'm just a seer and a doer.
That's dope. So like as far as self-taught, like how do you self-teach yourself? Is that like looking at something or?
So it's visualizing and then kind of manifesting. So usually I'll just look at a few things, gain inspiration from, people's day-to-day jewelry, things I could imagine myself wearing, and then, build it from there. I started with a really thick gauge copper, and I got it from Home Depot. And that's where I started. I researched copper. Now I can get it in any size wire I can find, but the really big gauge copper helped to strengthen my hands. And it was just trial and error. So, you know, when you're self-taught, it's all about trial and error. It's solving problems. When I was doing the wire rings originally, I just wanted to have a band that I could quickly adjust when I was doing festivals and everything like that, because I had noticed that a lot of my rings were made in my size, which happens to be a lot bigger than the average female and right alongside with the average male's size hands. So I had to kind of curve what I did. So I transitioned to doing a spiral based ring guard, and that was so it could be quickly taken down a size or taken up a size.
Gotcha.
So, you know, it's all trial and error. You just do it, and if you fail the first time, you do it again until you're winning.
So do you have, like, when you're making stuff, is there like a room, or like what's the setting, like what's the mood, or like is there music going on, is there like, you know, the pets are like around, like what's the setting when you're like, is there a specific mood you have to be in?
So to be honest, I do have my heavy inspirational days where I can get like 10 pieces done in a day, and I do have an office where I try to stay in my office, but I'm a TV girl. So and TV actually helps me to kind of lose track of time. So I usually will do it anywhere, everywhere. I do really try to stay in my office, but a lot of times that doesn't work. So, you know, I mean, I've done it. I was on vacation. I've did it in cars. I'll do it wherever. I do it on site when I'm doing festivals or events. As long as I can kind of get into that zone and that creative mind space, I can do it anywhere.
Okay. What I like about your stuff is that, like, for the most part, everything is custom. And there's almost, I don't think there's any two things that are alike. Because I know I had you make like a ring for me and one of my best friends, and just like the same exact ring, but it didn't come out the same exact. And so like it has its own personality. The stones, you know, the stone is the same, but shaped a little different, and it looks different on our same finger, you know, that we wear it on.
So what I can say is, even if people are not going towards me doing a custom piece for them, there's no two wraps that will come out alike. As much as you will try, there will be small things that will just not be the same. So in hindsight, everything is custom that I do, even though it may not have been exactly custom to you, but once you get it, it is customly yours.
Gotcha. And what about your other products as far as your skin and...
So the skin and hair care, most of them are based with black soap. I have natural hair. I've been using black soap shampoo for years. I've been making it for years. I got into herbs and things of that nature. So I just started to research the herbs that help grow your hair and created some concoctions based off of that. Knowledge is power, and just educating yourself, self-education is one of the greatest tools you have.
Okay. And as far as like business-wise, when did you know like this is what I'm doing? This is going to be how I'm going to make money. Like, I'm going to profit off of this. It's going to be something that I'm going to put my everything into.
So, honestly, you have to have your back against the wall before you actually propel yourself forward. I know I had started my company initially and had been working for an agency, and they ended up laying me off. And amongst that layoff was the first time I actually said, you know what, I'm going to start to invest in myself. I am going to make something happen of this company. And that's when I started to spend the most money on myself. And people have to understand it is an investment, and you can't look towards others to support what you do. You have to support what you do first, and then you'll see if it goes somewhere. And if it doesn't, it's fine. You know, there's a lot of things that we would like to do that just aren't meant for us, and then what is meant for us will eventually pan out.
Okay. And what would you tell anyone who does something that they love and is thinking about starting their own brand or business? Like, what's the biggest advice you can give, like, from the beginning?
The first question I would ask is this your passion? A lot of people, they want to be in business, but they choose things that are not their passion, and they have no levels of passion involved. You can't see somebody else in their dream and how lucrative it is for them and think that that's meant for you. As long as you are doing something that you are passionate about, you could make $1 one day, $1,000 the next, and be happy on both days, because this is what you love to do. And also really evaluate your hobbies and see which hobbies that you have, whether or not you can turn a profit on them, and then go with that. There's no bad start. It's just the act of starting. You just have to start it, and if it goes well, then you know you got a winner, and if it doesn't, it's okay. You move forward.
All right.
I'm sorry, somebody's popping outside my house.
No, it's okay, because look it, Brooklyn came all the way to the Bronx. Did you hear me? All the way to the Bronx, and this is what I do. This is why I call it "What's the Word" on the streets. But I kind of like disregard the what's on the street part. But, you know, what's the word? So in regards to that, I want to ask, what's something that when you're not doing your jewelry or your hair care and skin care, what's something that you do, like in your free time, that's fun for you? Like what's something that outside of the jewelry making?
So I do draw. Sometimes I will sketch and doodle, and that is something that kind of relaxes me. But I'm so drawn to stones. So usually when I'm not physically making pieces, I'm shopping. I'm shopping different stones. I have a few different vendors. I go every time I travel. It is a must to find a metaphysical shop in the area. So that's really what I enjoy doing. I enjoy being around water. So anything that's just like calming to the spirit, I'm all about it.
All right. And so I'm trying to get in tune with the title of my podcast, What's the Word? So I want to try to start where I want you to give the listeners a word that you live by, that you feel that is the word that suits who you are? Just something that's like for me, I'm always like, everything to me is amazing. Everything is amazing. Like that's my word. Like, okay. I love that word because it says so much when I'm describing a lot. So what's a word for you that you want to share with the listeners?
Oh, so I think most of my friends would say that I often say first thing. So everything is first thing. But there's no second thing that comes behind it. It's always the first thing. But I would like to leave manifest.
Okay.
Because manifest is such a strong word, and we just need to do it more often.
Yes. That is also one of my favorite words. Yeah, I've learned that word, and I do try to like manifest things. It's hard at times, but you know, it's a learning process. Like I really like have to thank you, because from meeting you, from talking to you, like y'all have to. I need you to, in a minute, to like give your contact with how they can reach you, how they can order, how like where you gonna be at in these streets, because you be everywhere. But like I know how you post the full moons,
yeah.
And like you gave a list of all of the full moons that I've been living by. I think I missed last month, but like just like your spirit.
Well,
like I said,
you're early for this month.
Yes. Yes. I'm going to, and then like, you know, resetting my crystals, and
absolutely.
So I'll be all up in her DMs like, what am I supposed to do? Why do I feel like this? What? And so like, you're like, you know, I really, really, really appreciate you. No, and I know you don't do these kind of things, these interviews and stuff, so I'm honored. And you know, it's nothing for me to have to come all the way out, because you know that's what I wanted to. You know, I wanted to come to you and get into, you know, to your business and see what's going on with you. But how can everyone get in contact with you and reach you? So you know, give your email and your social media, whatever way you want them to contact you.
Okay, so we'll start easy off. Instagram is GOODFLYNYC. Usually you can find me on everywhere by Goodfly NYC. My email is Sophia, SOPHIA .Rogers, ROGERS at good-fly.com. So, I mean, and let me take a moment to put you, although this is your show, let me take a moment to congratulate you on starting something that is going to be epic. I know this is going to be fantastic for you. It's going to transcend different levels. I'm just so proud of you that you know, you told me about this maybe a year ago. I don't know.
Lord, it's been a long time.
But, you know, just the first step is starting. So I am truly happy for you. I'm excited. I can't wait to see where it goes.
And you're my first interview. Like, I literally...
It's an honor. It is an honor.
I told you, though, even with my blog, I was like, okay, I want you to be my first interview. But then I knew it would be, like, so much to capture and talk about that I was just like, when I do my podcast, you're going to be my first guest. So I appreciate it.
Let's put it in the calendar. 5 years from now,
okay,
we'll meet again.
Yes.
And we will do another epic interview.
Yes. So a follow-up. Yes. Thank you so much.
No problem.
So, all right, guys. That was Goodfly NYC. Make sure y'all get in contact with her. Hit her up. Order from her. Follow her. Like, get your life. And I'll be talking to y'all soon. All right. So this brings episode 1 to the end. I do appreciate you all once again for listening, for tuning in, for sharing, for downloading. Continue to listen. Subscribe again to wherever you're listening to this podcast, because it really does help me out. I'm trying to get sponsors. I'm trying to make a few coins. So help me put some food on the table and help, just spread love. It's the Brooklyn Highway. Again, it doesn't cost you anything to follow, share. And also, again, check out my blog and follow or subscribe to my website, which is www.bklyntyeny.com. Check the shop website, or the portion on my website for you to shop my merch. I have tote bags, masks, hoodies, sweatshirts, t-shirts. So, check it out. Tune in to the next episode 2, which will be coming soon. I want to say in about 2 weeks, or now a little less than 2 weeks. But, just again, once you subscribe, you'll never miss an episode or a blog, because I will be sending out newsletters when they drop. So follow me at Brooklyn Ty NYC, BKLYNTYE NYC on Twitter, as well as Instagram. And you can also do Facebook.com/Brooklyn Ty NYC. I'm not on Facebook heavy, but I may jump on there. I might start having questions that I'll be having, so we can interact a little bit. But speaking of questions, I did want to leave y'all with a question of the week, so that y'all can email me, and then, we can basically discuss it on the next episode. So, because it's the end of summer, I was thinking about a lot of the fun things I used to do as a child when I was a kid growing up in the streets of Brooklyn. So I wanted to ask you guys, what's a summer activity that you must do to complete your summer? What's the one thing? Me, I have to hit a water park. If I do not hit a water park, it doesn't feel like the summer has ended, or it doesn't feel like it's been fulfilled. Especially with COVID and all of that. I haven't been to a water park as of yet. I do plan on making it. I did go to the beach at least. And, but I do plan on in the next few weeks, right before Labor Day, hopefully. I'm lying. Probably sometime in September, because my youngest daughter will be turning 15 in September. So I will be probably making my way to a water park with her, because that's something she also loves to do. So, hit me up. What's a summer activity you must do to make your summer complete? And email me at thepodcast@gmail.com. You can also DM me on any of my, on my Instagram or my Twitter, and answer the question as well. But I would prefer if you would email me, because I can keep better track, and just you can put in the subject line, question of the week. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, this will be my, I'll end each show or each episode with a question of the week, so that we can discuss it on the next show. So thank you again for listening in. I look forward to bringing y'all some really dope shit. So continue to check me out. And as always, I will leave you and say, spread love. It's the Brooklyn Highway.